Welcome into another episode of the YHH Junior Hockey Pod. It's been a while. We've all been super busy. We had the girls section tournament and then state tournament, and it was crazy. And then Drew was sick, and then I'm sick. So we've had a lot of things going on. So I know, Peter, you must have had a crazy last 2 weeks with girl stuff, and now we're in the midst of all the boys stuff, and it's just a crazy time of year.
It is a crazy time of year. I was at the Section 3 AA championship last night between St. Thomas Academy and the Rosemount Irish. That was a long night, and it was a longer night because I left the Anderson Ice Arena, which is on campus at UST, and I walked over to the Devani's that I know is there on the corner of like Cleveland and Cretin or something, closed. So my dumbass thought, I'll just keep walking east on Grand and something is going to be open. No, it wasn't. I went 3 miles east on Grand on foot until I ended up like right outside of Jimmy John's that was also closed. And eventually I called my wife and I said, "Hey, you awake? Because I'm going to use a ride home." So she picked me up in front of the Lexington restaurant after I spent probably an hour and a half just kind of wandering around.
Gotcha. Yeah,
That's kind
Happy
of
to be here.
wild.
I saw the highlights from that game. Everything looked crazy last night.
Bananas.
First team to punch their ticket, as everyone says. I know some people hate it when you say that phrase, but whatever, get over it. Drew, how have you been? I know you were sick last week, but hopefully bouncing back.
Yeah, you might hear me cough a couple times during the episode. The bronchitis got to me, I guess. So that time of the year where sickness is going all over. But yeah, no, back at it, and we're pumped to be here, pumped to talk some junior hockey, and yeah, go Caps, go.
For sure.
Gotta
Well,
get
we
the
got
Go
plenty
Caps going.
Go Caps go. Well, we got plenty of stuff to talk about today because we have not recorded in a little while, especially the trade deadline passed in the USHL. So, a couple of notable trades and stuff to talk about, and might as well just I'm yawning too now. Wow. But we got a few notable trades to talk about. A lot of teams, selling or buying on the trade market. And one that I saw yesterday, Drew, that I'm sure you can give us some insight into this player is Madison traded Gavin Eulenkamp, Minnesotan, to Fargo for Aero Butella, which I'm pretty sure you coached us how to say that guy's name earlier on in the show and some picks as well. So what can you tell maybe Fargo fans about Gavin and what he brings to the ice?
Yeah, Gavin's a speedster, probably one of the fastest players in the league, and I think realistically he's going to go in there and change a couple of things for them, right? You're Butella is 6'4", right? Eulenkamp's 5'9", so they're completely different players. I think they have more players built like Butella than they do like Eulenkamp. So I think Eulenkamp's role is there for him. I don't know if he's going to go in and be like, I'm taking the minutes from Mason West, but I do think that put in the right spot, he can be one of the best penalty kill players in the league while also still having 30 points to his name. So they're getting a good piece. I can tell you here in Madison, we're pumped about getting Arrow too, back the other way. I don't think it was we need to sell at the deadline, do anything like that. Yeah, the team's struggling lately. We haven't been producing offensively, so mixing it up, get a couple picks in the process too. Butella, Uhlenkamp both have 5 points in 2026, so it's not like one side's significantly better offensively than the other. So I'll be interested to see kind of how all of it plays out, right? Arrow last season, 30 plus points, down to 16 this year. Can he find that spark in a different role here? Who knows? I guess it'll be interesting to see. I would guess Gavin's going to go in and have like an 8-point weekend just because that's how things work. And hopefully he gets the best, and hopefully the Caps meet Fargo in the finals. But I actually sell suites for the team too, obviously. Like that's part of my job is the sales side. I've had the Euland camps as one of my clients for the past couple of years. They've had suites. So I told them that exact thing. I'd love to see Gavin in the Force in the finals if the Caps are lucky to get that far.
Well, that was a big one and just dropped. I think it's one of the most recent ones on this list as well. One of the other most recent ones, Jake Stewart, who was playing for Sioux Falls, got traded to Muskegon for Dane Sorensen in picks, and I believe, or the
Other way, yeah.
other way of that flip flop. He Sorensen actually, interestingly enough, I know he was in the USHL, but I think he was in the BC. So not sure if that's just for the rights or if he's coming back now. But that's kind of an interesting one. And Stewart's a former NTDP guy, so that's kind of notable there. And some other Minnesotans on the move. This happened a week or two ago, but obviously we didn't record. So, kind of a big one. Ashton Schultz traded for Dallas View and picks. That was between Chicago and Sioux City. Pair of Minnesotans, I'm sure people are familiar with if you watched Tonka or Hermantown in the past. And obviously, I know too, it kind of seemed. Drew, I know you gave some insight a while ago about Chicago seems to be kind of, getting rid of some pieces and stuff lately, but obviously they still got to, finish out the season and stuff too. And kind of interesting because those are two kind of top level players for those two teams as well.
Yeah, there's a lot going back for Ashton Schultz. Yes, I think Ashton Schultz, if you put them on the ice together, Dallas View versus Ashton Schultz, you'd probably look at Ashton Schultz and say, yeah, that's the player I'd want. Offensive production wise, I think Dallas View had more points this season, points per game. So I don't know if it's mixing it up, but I would guess you're getting both of those players for the remaining part of the season, and to get as much back picks wise as Chicago did was kind of surprising to me, not because Ashton Schultz is a bad player, but just because of the player that they got back in Dallas View.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at Dallas View's kind of points throughout the years too, it's kind of interesting. He's one of those guys left Hermantown, played for Tri-City, and then, spent another year kind of half Tri-City, half Sioux City, and then this year mostly for Sioux City, now going to Chicago. Played a bunch of games for a bunch of different people, but definitely having his best season this year by far. He had 15 and 15 for Sioux City, so definitely having his best year. And he's still only 19. Like, you look at all the years he spent in the USHL, and he's really not even, the oldest guy out there, which is kind of crazy.
He seems like he's been in the USHL for a decade at this point. The thing that I love about Dallas, though, is he's so traitsy. Like, you watch him during games, and there are flashes where you think, okay, he's going to make some NHL team very happy someday as maybe a top 9 forward. And I guess this year with his most points, he's putting it all together, but he's got a heck of a shot, good nose for the net. But you're totally right. It feels like he's been around forever, and he's only 19 years old.
Yeah, and just a bunch of other trades as well that happened. I can just run through them, and if you guys have any thoughts, you can just talk about any of them. But and sorry if I butcher anybody's name in advance. Chase Jett traded for Cody Sokol and picks, or Sokol, don't know. Drew, you can always
Jete and Sokol.
Jete, wow.
It's not Jete. Shut up.
It is, I promise you.
Jete?
Yep,
Oh
Chase Jete.
Wow, I did not know that.
He's been on IR since November, so not a season-ending injury apparently. So I'm interested to see if and when he comes back, because that's another player that's probably going into school next year. They gave up a lot, so I would assume that he's coming back at some point.
That's wild. And thanks for the pronunciation tips with those. A pair of goalies traded Michael Chambray for Owen Crudale. Aiden Merrick traded to Chicago. He's a guy who's, I believe, a Ferris commit because his brother Cam is currently playing in Minnetonka right now, if that name rings a bell. He's a forward. He's kind of played quite a few places, actually. Sioux Falls to Waterloo to Chicago now, so trying to find that perfect spot. And then last but not least, Sam Murin traded to Lincoln. Slovakian guy, forward, had just a couple points for Tri-City, but going to try to find a better fit there in Lincoln. And yeah, the trade deadline has passed. So it seems like a couple of big ones, but nothing that was like super crazy, insane. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Cooper Simpson wasn't getting traded this year at the deadline. That sort of thing.
For sure. So that all is ended. Trade deadline ended a few days ago now that we're recording this. A couple other news and notes. Minnesotan, I saw Owen Biskins added to injured reserve. So obviously don't like to see that. I saw that the annual Sioux Falls, like the Wiener Dog race that they have with the Stampede, I I saw somebody tweet at first that it was the largest indoor sporting event in South Dakota history, but then someone else said it wasn't. So I wasn't going to go into the depths of researching that, but apparently it was insane, and they had like 11,000 people for this game that was Sioux Falls and Des Moines playing each other, which is awesome. Love to see it, but that's, I guess, debatable on if it is the highest attended. But
It is the highest attended indoor. I think the big controversy was if it was just the biggest Sioux Falls sporting event ever.
okay,
Uh, that's where the controversy, and people had to throw the asterisks indoor because I believe South Dakota State seats 20,000 for their football program,
really?
and they came in and just said the biggest event in South Dakota history. Now, like
Oh,
it's still sweet, don't get me wrong, but like to have a full building, and that's like a pro barn too, if we're being honest here. Like you got the 2 levels to have it all packed, like that's as good as it gets. And junior hockey, especially here in the USHL, that's like the biggest arena too. So right. So if we're selling that out a couple times a year, it pads the stats attendance wise for the league for sure.
It's my favorite USHL event of the season. I don't even care about the Clark Cup. Just give me the wiener dog race.
yeah, every year it seems like goes up and up. But that's pretty wild. It seems like it has been a long time since the U17 and U18 Five Nation tournament was played, because it was like the last time we recorded it was going on. But just to give everybody a quick update on what happened, the U17s lost the final game to Sweden 3-2. Minnesotan Ben Geiger had an assist in that game, and the U18s won the title with a 3-2 final win over Switzerland in the last game. And AJ Francisco had the overtime game winner. So a couple Minnesotans doing some great stuff. Love to see it. And then just other kind of random notables. Bodie Leyland was the USHL Defenseman of the Week last week. So cool to see that. And I just saw this a few minutes ago, actually, that Drew Stewart recently hit 100 career USHL points. And he's one of those guys too. I feel like I don't see a ton of buzz about him, but he's leading Muskegon in scoring right now. Played in the USHL for a little while. He's currently committed to Dartmouth. I believe originally was a Notre Dame commit, but flipped, I want to say, a year and a half ago, maybe. But that's kind of cool. And I thought we should probably just take a look at the standings, since it's been a while since we did that. And if you look at the standings while we were talking about this, you will see that Youngstown is currently just way ahead of kind of everybody, which is kind
Yeah.
of funny. But I guess they also have 50 games played compared to everybody else, so maybe a slight asterisk there. But I don't know, Drew. Do you want to chime in at all with any Eastern Conference notes at all on anything?
Yeah, I mean, I would guess if we looked at it 3 weeks ago when we last did, like the order probably is pretty similar in the East and the West, to be honest with you. Like I think Waterloo and Omaha were out of the picture in the West, Chicago and TDP out of the picture in the East. Maybe a little bit of juggling up top. Green Bay, Dubuque, Muskegon have been all around, but really, like in the West, it's Sioux Falls and Fargo. In the East, like yeah, Youngstown's kind of running away with the regular season. End of things, I'm interested to see like what horses are like come out of that though, right? Like, is it really a 4-team race? Is it a 6-team race though? Too like, CR's played a lot of those top teams tough. That's what the East is very interesting. Like you can tell just with the trades that Sioux Falls and Fargo are the teams to kind of beat in the West, and to see if it's the other way in the East. So I'll be interested there for sure. But yeah, I think if you looked at the standings, like order wise, it's probably pretty similar to where we were 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, for sure. And I think kind of interesting too. I always like to look at standings and points and stuff and look at how many like overtimes or shootouts people have played in as well. And it's kind of crazy. I see Chicago's leading with the number of overtime losses right now too. So sometimes it's kind of like, oh, interesting stats when you see maybe things like that. I don't know, Peter, is there anything that crazy that pops out at you, or nothing too surprising since the last time we were on here?
Nothing too surprising. I mean, Drew's the expert here. Woo, it's Drew. Follow him on Twitter if you want to learn everything about the USHL. He's who I follow when I need to know things about the USHL. I promise I'm not being absent-minded right now. I'm just getting 15 text messages about who's going where tonight for section finals. So I'm trying to make sure everybody knows where everyone else is going. But no, I don't think anything is that crazy in terms of standings. But I don't know. Anything can happen in the Clark Cup playoffs. Boy, that was a word salad. Holy cow.
That was beautiful though. You get a hot goalie, right? You find one guy gets hot offensively, like all of a sudden, like Jan Shostak, I think Lincoln was the 6th seed a couple years ago. Now St. Cloud's goalie, college wise, one of them, and I think he got hot a couple of years ago in the playoffs, and they went to the Western Conference Finals when they barely got into the playoffs. So like anything can happen in that case. Like yeah, right now it looks like it's Sioux Falls and Fargo, but who knows where we're talking in 3 weeks, right? Like all of a sudden, maybe Sioux City, because they got Ashton Schultz, they get back into the race a little bit, or Tri City the same way. Sioux City's got Fargo this weekend, I'm pretty sure. So who knows? Gavin Eulenkamp, Ashton Schultz matchup. They played 6 times together against each other in Madison, Chicago this year. Maybe they bang heads, go crazy.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so that's standings. You can go look at those yourself if you really want to get into the crazy details. But also we want to thank our sponsor, the USHL, one of the sponsors. Obviously, we just talked a bunch about the USHL and the awesome games that they provide and entertainment as well, like the Wiener Dog race games. It's fun, it's awesome hockey. It's everything that you could ask for. And we got a bunch of commitments as well to talk about. So big thanks to the USHL providing some elite development to all of its players and athletes, and got a couple of commitments and stuff here. Notably, the top one being we got a Minnesotan here that committed. I got to add a second one too that I just remembered. But Tri-City defenseman Luka Roloff has committed to Bemidji State, former Grand Rapids guy. And I found this tidbit. I saw somebody tweeted it on Twitter. I don't remember who, so I'm very sorry. But Luka Roloff and fellow Minnesotan Luke Roloffs will both be on the Bemidji State roster at some point, probably in the future.
God, I'd hate that.
That's going to be wild to listen to if you're listening to like a radio broadcast. Is it Roloff? Is it Roloffs? You might just have
play worst nightmare.
Yeah, that's terrible because then you can't even like call them by their first name either because those are so close too.
Yeah, so I thought that was really like a weird, funny coincidence, but good to see another Minnesotan grabbing their commitment. Sorry again, I'm yawning. I'm so sorry, everybody. Very tired. Another Minnesotan, Harper Searles, recently got his commitment as well. This is kind of a random tangent, but I keep seeing these commitments that come up on the Des Moines line chart that are not announced yet, and then I keep posting them because I keep thinking they are official, and then they are not official for the next like 2 days. So somebody
That's official.
Posting those.
It's official. If it's on the line chart, it's official because they announced it a couple days after.
But then the player, the players are announcing them like after that. So
yeah, like we always wait for the player to announce it before we post on anything. But like sometimes the colleges are like, no, throw that logo on. Like, we want to make sure that we're claiming him as ours. We had an issue with Mercyhurst last season or 2 years ago, where Mercyhurst was all over. Like, we need to make sure that the logo gets on. I was like, pal, we're not throwing it on the damn line chart until Brendan Lamb posts it. Like, it's his announcement. But to each their own. Like, some colleges are all about it, some aren't. Like, it's weird, though. Good for Harper, former Capital, 10 games last season. I'm glad that he's found his footing there. Wears a letter, too, for Des Moines. So, good kid for sure.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Announced his commitment to Air Force. So saw that, posted it, and then I think he actually posted his own commitment like a day or two later. But Des Moines has been, posting them right away because I know they had the Cade de Saint Hubert one. I don't remember if we talked about that on the last episode or not, but also Des Moines guy committed to West Point because they announced that one a little early too. So a couple Minnesotans earned those D1 commitments. Love to see it.
Did you get your burger, Drew?
No, I wish, dude. I'm still waiting for Jacob and his magnificent mustache to walk through the door. We have like auto sensor lights in here though, so I'm in the merch room. Shout out, buy your merch online. Helps my wife. She runs the merch here for the team. But yeah, sorry. Side note.
Nice. Some other non-Minnesotans who have committed to places, I can just run through them, and if you have any comments on any of these players, go for it. Melvin Ekman of Dubuque commits to Minnesota State. Dante Josephson Westling, which I believe Drew coached us on that pronunciation as well earlier in the show, committed to Niagara. Chicago Steel for Zach Spagnuolo commits to Air Force. Jackson Fox of Cedar Rapids commits to Augustana. Mind blowing. It's an Augustana commit that's not from Minnesota or Belarus? Question mark. The guy who grew up in the St. Louis area. Wow. And from per Ryan Sykes on Twitter, it sounds like Lincoln's goalie Will Prowse or Prousey, not sure how you say that, is no longer committed to Princeton. So couple notables there. Got to be on the lookout always for those logos on the line chart.
Especially with, and I don't know if this is Prowse's case, but especially the decommits from Ivy League schools, because I got into college with a 2.9, but you're not going to get into Princeton with a 2.9. And like I said, I'm not saying that's Prowse's issue, but sometimes we see kids drop off the Ivy League map just because like their ACT scores have come in, or the SAT scores have come in, or the GPAs come in, the transcripts. So a few more kids might drop out of the Ivy League.
Be like, I don't know if I want to be doing that level of school while I'm also being an athlete. Might be a little tough.
That's true. That's true.
Tough.
Doing school. You think Gavin McKenna's going to class right now?
He's not going to an Ivy.
He's 100% sitting in the first row of Microeconomics 102.
Yeah, maybe he's sitting in the first row, but there's a 0% chance he's turning anything in or taking any test himself.
There's no way he's in microecon either. He's definitely got to be in just like
macroecon.
Like no, he's got to be in like those classic intro. I'm trying to think of like what I had to take, like intro to communication studies, or I don't even know what
writing 105.
Yeah, or like math 101 or whatever it is.
This is a semicolon. This is a period. Your commas go here.
Yeah, like just like the got to get the generals out of the way type thing. There's no way he's taking econ. That'd be actually slightly hard, unless
that'd be smart of him to take econ.
Unless he's an academic weapon, but I kind of doubt that.
No, it sounds like his fists are weapons, though.
Yeah.
sounds like a what?
His fists are weapons, though.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. Broke that guy's jaw.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be an academic weapon. He's already not on the ice. Did you see this is a random side note. Did you see his celly the other day?
Yeah, I did. And he did the McGregor, and then McGregor like reposted it. It's kind of sick.
Oh God. We keep inching closer and closer to hockey becoming pro wrestling every day. We stray further from God's light.
Are you against that?
Of hockey turning into WWE?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm against that.
Maceo Phillips is all about that.
I'm very pro Maceo Phillips, but I am anti WWE.
I'm pro WWE coming into hockey, and I'm pro Maceo Phillips dropping the gloves and the Madison Cats not dropping their gloves back and him serving 2 minutes.
Are you is it still real to you, Drew?
WWE?
Yeah.
It's never really been like real, but it is like a good storytelling. Like, here's a question: is Modern Family on ABC real? To some people, it is, right?
Can I make a recommendation instead of?
Hold on a second. No, Modern Family's not real. It's a fictional.
But that's the way people have to look at it, though. Is that they're watching it for entertainment, not for like, oh, this is like Brock Lesnar is actually the best WWE wrestler right now. Entertainer,
okay.
Sorry.
Well, I was asking if it was still real to you just because of that video. No. That's okay. It's still real to you, damn it.
Real. No, not real. Not real. It's entertainment. It's just like watching a movie every Monday night on Netflix. I don't watch every week. But...
Instead of WWE, get into sumo. We've been really into sumo in my house lately.
Yeah, I don't have the channels that log into sumo. Or do you just like watch YouTube videos?
YouTube. They'll post
it on Tubi.
There's not a tournament going on right now, but I think there's one in March. So it's really
I'm gonna be all over that. That's the real March Madness.
Like I definitely have learned a lot about sumo over the last 2 months. So if anyone wants to like talk sumo with me, like I got you.
I always thought that
who wants to watch Duke? Who wants to watch Duke when you can watch sumo?
I mean, it's pretty great. It's very interesting. My toddler knows to ask for sumo. She loves it. And also it's like not violent. So, it's very like chill. It's very cool. Highly recommend. It has nothing to do with hockey, but
Shout out to Hakuho Show, greatest sumo wrestler of all time, according to Google AI.
Boy, how about that?
Did you just Google sumo?
Yeah. No, I just Googled who's the sumo goat.
Oh, the goat. I don't know about the goat, but yeah, don't need to get
Shows my dog.
too off onto tangents, but yeah,
This is what the people want. They
anyone
don't want
wants
to hear us
talk
talk
to me
about
like
hockey.
current,
No,
like
they want to hear us talk about Hakumo Show.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's on YouTube. It's a wild time, wild ride. Before we get into
Good
other
segue.
notes, great segue. We have amazing segues on this show. Big thanks to APX. I'll point to my hat as well. Another one of the sponsors of this show. We just got done with the girls hockey state tournament, and we had a bunch of our athletes specifically on the Farmington team. So I was cheering super hard for them. And if you are looking for elite development or training this off season, we still got a couple of select spots left. If you want to go find out more information, apx-hockey.com, or you need an awesome advisor, we got that for you. And I know we'll for sure have boys athletes in the state tournament next week because I know we have a chunk of Rosemont guys who just punched their ticket. So that'll be super fun. And yeah, it's getting better and better every day. So go check us out. And thanks for sponsoring the show. And a couple of other notables that I had. I typed this one last week, so I'm going to delete it. But we had the NAHL Top Prospects showcase event, so that happened.
Half the league was in it. What a joke!
Yeah, like half the league.
Let's have 45 teams for our top prospects.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't going to list the Minnesotans because there's just too many to list.
What does it say if you didn't make the top prospects and you're in the NAHL? Like,
you're bottom
if there's 45 teams,
I don't know.
There's
you're going to be
teams.
A great insurance agent.
Yeah. They should make sure they're in class. Economics 101 with McKenna.
Honestly, I'd say that is kind of a joke, but the vast majority of hockey players on the planet right now are going to end up not playing professional hockey. So no, It's not a slam on anyone.
No, it's hey, you're probably most likely those kids are going to go get a great D3 education. That's not a slight. Like there's some great D3 schools that just don't play D1 hockey, and they're gonna end up making more money than I do. It's okay. I accept it.
Go play like ACHA level 2.
Or they can grind it out. Shout out. This is a shout out I do want to send. Dusty Bergstrom just signed in the SPHL. Big fan.
Well, did he really?
Yeah, I'm all about trying to live the dream as long as you can. Don't get me wrong. At some point, I think Dusty knows if you're signing with Fayetteville in the SPHL, you're probably not going to end up in NHL All-Star. But the dream's still there. You could at some point. And Dusty's a great kid. Ran a marathon. Guy's got heart.
Yeah, I mean,
let's just end the pod right there. What a speech from Drew.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marksman. Big games this weekend in Tennessee. Knoxville.
I guess shout out to the guys that made top prospects and that didn't make top prospects.
Yeah. The whole league. Shout out.
The whole league. Shout out. Other notes. This is kind of crazy. A Minnesotan here has not a hat trick, not a 4-goal game, but a 5-goal game from Thomas Gunderson. I thought they originally meant that he had 5 goals through the weekend, which still would have been impressive. But no, he had legitimately a 5-goal game. I don't even know how that happens. Obviously, there's very rare times you get a hat trick or even the 4, but I don't know if I've ever seen like a 5 besides very rare times.
Mini mites, cross ice. Why not? That's probably about the last time I've heard of that.
Yeah, so that's absolutely wild. So wanted to shout him out because that's
love Thomas Gunderson.
Couple trades here as well in the NAHL are just notable notes. Former Chanhassen captain Ryan McPartland traded from Springfield to Kenai River, 8 points this year, so he's getting traded, going to be going up to Alaska. This one, side note, obviously I don't like talking bad about any organizations, but the Minnesota Mallards, you guys seem to be a hot mess. People are comparing them to Omaha of the USHL. Because they are currently on their 4th head coach in, I believe, a year and a half or 2 years. So I don't know what's going on. And well, I know some things, but I don't know all the things.
Yeah,
It just sounds like there's a lot of turnover happening, and obviously, I just hope for the guys that are there, it's not anything
correct.
too crazy.
Correct. That's the big thing. Like I've heard stuff that like obviously we're not going to talk about on air. But I've also heard some stuff where it's just like if you're an advisor, if you're a parent of a player and you see all that stuff going on, tough for recruiting for them, to say the least, right? Like you want the best for the kids that are there. We have a couple affiliates that either were there in the past, are there now, and it's just like develop, get through it. It's the grind. Don't get me wrong, you're going to the NAHL. It's not You're not going to the NHL when you sign up for the NAHL. They throw that A in there for a reason. Uh, there are some positive things about the NAHL, and hopefully a lot of those kids get those positive things over the rest of this season. And whether they come back to Minnesota next year, I'm sure there's kids that love it. Like you're 45 minutes south of one of the greatest spots in the state, so like you might as well like you might as well live it up while you
I
can.
thought I
Go
thought you
visit.
went north at first, and then I went, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah, no, they're south. They're south of the top. There's a pizza pub there. That's a big shout out. Like, what more do you need?
Thank God there's a pizza pub there.
Yeah, they catered my wedding.
Did
Well,
they do a good job?
Fantastic.
pizza at
Fantastic.
weddings is elite. I gotta say that.
And we
Pizza
did
at wedding?
pasta we did pizza come in late, and they did like the pasta and stuff earlier on.
Nice.
We had
Chef's
like
kiss.
pizza at mine, and it was bomb because everybody was like
Yeah.
hungry again by like 10:30,
Yeah.
11.
And let's be real, if they're not hungry, they're probably a little too tuned up and probably need some pizza to sober them up a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Strategy.
Strategy. Speaking of the NAHL, apparently it also seems like Johnstown recently, it sounds like, let their head coach go. I don't know a ton about the situation there since obviously that's further away from us, but mid-season coaching changes are usually not the greatest thing to happen. So we'll see what happens there. I want to say the tweet I saw, it sounded like they were just bringing on like the GM for now as the head coach or something. I'm not sure if that's a temporary thing or not. Couple other major junior notes here. Little Falls grad and Air Force commit Ryan Authout signs with Kelowna in the dub. I actually talked to Ryan this summer, wrote a story about him because I think he was the first D1 commit for Little Falls since like Hanowski. So it's been a while that they've had like a D1 player for Little Falls. I don't know if you want to shout out Little Falls, do they have beef with Pine City?
No, I'll shout out Ben Hanowski though. That guy had a great beard and hair when the Huskies were
Well, he's
rolling
on all
back in
the
the day.
commercials now for Deerwood Bank, in between the
All the
Huskies.
free shout outs.
He's he's on all the commercials now in between the Huskies games
Dude,
on
I
CHD.
just remember he literally looked like a caveman the one year. Like they donated all their hair to Walks of Love, but like he looked like the beard times 20 on mine and the hair down to his shoulder blades.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I just wanted to give Ryan a shout out because he's one of those guys, a lot of people never know how guys from like smaller programs are going to do when they jump to juniors because he had a really good career at Little Falls, but it's kind of like, oh, well, how are you going to do? He originally didn't know if he was going to play with St. Cloud and the NAHL this year, kind of what the plan was, because I think he was there in the summer camp that I saw. I don't remember, but then didn't know if he'd go up to Canada or not. Well, he ended up going to the BCHL, had 10 points in 16 games for Trail, and now he's in the dub and he has 4 points in 6 games. So it seems like he's translating really well. But he's a forward. He's got a big frame. He's like 6'3". So cool to see guys from programs like that get some recognition, get called up to the dub.
Are they a Section 5A school, Little Falls? I know that's like looping
I
back.
believe whatever, yeah, because if Cathedral's is Cathedral 5 or are they?
They're 5.
I can never tell where they end. Like every time they do the section shuffle, it takes me 5 years to figure out where everybody was 3 years ago. So 5A sounds right.
Little Falls and Cathedral in the section final, and now it's like Cathedral and Monticello most years. Okay. So I believe Little, unless
close
it's last year, but
we're close. Hey, the last 2 years we've been within a goal of it being Cathedral and Pine City.
Yeah, that's true.
Eventually, someday.
Very true.
Pine City will make its way to St. Paul, and talk about the bender that the folks up in Pine City, Minnesota are going to have. It's going to be amazing.
Tom Reed's better prepare.
Yeah.
For sure.
Tom Reed's better start having off sale because these guys are just going to have some beers outside in the parking lot, probably.
For sure. Well, we'll keep going quickly here because I know Drew has a heart out, so I'll just quick run through this stuff. Other WHL note, Jonas Cohn of Stillwater nets his first WHL goal for Regina. Shout out. I won't do these other ones. I'll save those for next week. But other miscellaneous / funny, we had a goalie fight. First round draft pick Joshua Ravensbergen and the Dub got in a goalie fight. Kind of cool. Seemed pretty fun and lighthearted. And then we had a goalie goal as well from Leo Henriquez of Green Bay. So I thought that was amazing. And I had some memes on my phone, but I did not send them to Drew of comments that I saw over the past week. So I don't know if you had any, Drew, but I'll have to save it for the next show.
Yeah, I think we save it for next week. This show, all about the stuff that matters today. We're getting down in deep. And the one thing I saw in the notes that we kind of skipped over because of my heart out, the Hurlburt stuff that's kind of going on with whether he goes in or not. He'd be kind of crazy in my mind not to go in. I think that a lot of that buzz is generated from Canadians that aren't used to their best players going into college. Right. Michigan would be absolutely nuts to not bring him in because JP Hurlburt will then just decommit from Michigan and go somewhere else and go in.
It all depends on who his advisor is, quite frankly, because I'm assuming that they will do what they're supposed to do, which is advise and help him make that decision. But 84 points in 54 games, I mean, what's stopping you from going into a different league and trying that out? Before we sign off, I want to get one comment from each of you. Favorite WWF wrestler of all time?
Sid's Googling, so she doesn't have it.
I was going to say, I do not.
Okay, fine. You can do a sumo wrestler.
Let me see if I have any on.
I think I honestly here's my thoughts on this. I watched a ton of it during COVID because one of my roommates, shout out Brevin Monroe out in Idaho right now doing the news out in Idaho. He loved it. We were watching all the time. He'd go to WrestleMania, that sort of stuff. Like he was into it. And I will say that the production level of that time was awesome because they could like edit everything, right? Like they didn't have to worry about appeasing a live crowd. So because of that, I'm going to say The Fiend. Yeah, it was. I want to say. Yeah, it was Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt like rebranded as The Fiend during COVID, and like it was unbelievable. Like all of a sudden, the entire power would shut off, and like all you'd see is the glow coming out of the mask. Like shout out The Fiend. That would be my shout out. I don't know if he's my favorite ever, but he was awesome.
Can I just say I don't know how to answer that question, but I will say shout out one of my favorite movies, Nacho Libre with Jack Black.
Yes.
I could probably recite that movie word for word. I'm not joking. Like literally, I've seen
next week on the podcast.
I love Jack Black. Yeah.
Next week, you better show up with an acoustic guitar.
I could sing all the songs.
I don't know. I've actually never seen Nacho Libre.
Yeah, oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I have not. I wanted to give pro wrestling a shout out because I didn't want people to think I was bagging on it too much because I do agree with Drew that it is incredible theater and I think it influences more sports than we give it credit for. I'm gonna go off the board. My favorite wrestler as a kid was actually a WCW guy, Sting, because he had a baseball bat.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know Sting.
Maybe Drew and I should just do an entire episode where we talk about wrestling.
That's fine. I'll just come in to do like a sumo segment and then I'll be like good.
Dude, I'd get so many people triggered with my takes on the WWE though. Like, cause I'm not into it. I just see like the Twitter clips and like I'll go back to watch like the big matches, but otherwise I'm not into it. But like I was at one point because of my roommate. So like all of my takes are gonna be like, oh yeah, this kid much to watch in 2020.
Gotcha. Someday we'll just have someday we'll have the wrestling pod and we'll just talk about 90s era WWF.
We're gonna switch for a day to YWH, Youth Wrestling Hub.
For sure. For sure.
Rock on.
Okay. Well, sweet. I don't think we have anything else then. I hope you enjoyed our wrestling tangents today on the
Yeah.
Hockey Pod. If you liked it, maybe we'll talk more about wrestling in future episodes when we're not pressed for time. But thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks to our sponsors, the USHL and APX. And have a great rest of your week. Hopefully, we will be recording next week, but it's the Boys State Tournament, so no guarantees. But thank you for listening, and we'll see you sometime soon.